Hey everybody, Matt here, Big Red Liquors, and this is a very special project that I'm getting to review today. This is the Big Red Liquors VIP version 2.0. This is our second VIP whiskey release. As you can see, the names of our awesome customers are actually on the TTB approved label. And I'm going to tell you the background of this amazing whiskey and why I have already called it Bourbon of the Year, because I just don't think we're going to get to do much better than this product. So this starts out with 8+ year old MGP whiskey, the 20% rye, which is already this gorgeous, sweet, spicy rye forward whiskey. That 114 proof, non-chill filtered would be a great deal at $60. I mean, people are charging a lot more for that exact recipe as we speak. But we got this really cool opportunity with our friends at Taxman out of Bargersville, local brewery, who offered up what used to be called Death and Taxes. This was their big Imperial Belgian-style stout release every year. And they actually, probably a legal thing, changed the name to Evasion. So this was a 13-14% alcohol Imperial bourbon barrel aged stout that had been sitting in those barrels for months and months and months. So when we planned to do this, we actually asked them to contact us the day before they knew they were going to dump those barrels, which they did. And so that morning, we grabbed a truck from the office and headed to Taxman and loaded those freshly dumped Imperial Belgian-style stout barrels into a truck literally about an hour after they were physically dumped. So there's still like this is like the wettest, juiciest beer barrel that we can imagine, loading in the back of that truck, and then drove them from Bargersville, Indiana, all the way up to 96th Street, where Heartland Distillers is, who had the 8-year-old MGP that they were sitting on, that agreed to do this project with us. They loaded those in, and then we filled those still sopping wet barrels with this 8-year-old delicious MGP juice. We had 5 Evasion barrels, and it took 6 of the MGP barrels, because they had lost over time some volume, to actually regauge and fill them up. And then it sat on that super malty, juicy, rich, delicious stout for a total of 8 weeks before we finally just bottled it straight out the barrel, basically, no more than 4 days ago. And had the TTB label approved, VIP version 2.0, over 400 names of our very best customers, and people threw some weird stuff in there to take a look at. But the small print, but you can definitely see the names, and this is just one of the most fantastic whiskeys ever. And I gotta tell you, so all these things would be great on their own, but on top of all that, this whiskey is absolutely delicious. So what you get on the nose is this beautiful, sweet, high rye spices, really beautiful, lifted, spicy aromas. You certainly get a little bit of that earthiness and a little bit of that maltiness from the stout. The color is absolutely stunning. We put this next to the same 8-year-old MGP juice, and this was 2, 3, 4 shades darker than that regular release. So it really got this leathery, rich mahogany, beautiful color to it. Let's taste it. So the MGP releases are very fruit forward to begin with, very rye spice forward to begin with. But the combination of the maltiness, that richness, that kind of orchard fruit there that's in that stout, literally, like, it's like that combined DNA, and they have latched onto one another. The spice and the fruit with that depth of malt, that richness of character. I literally put a drop of water in this thing before I before I did this, and that it's just swimming around. This is such a rich, thick, delicious whiskey. The complexity of it, every time I've tried this, from the first time to this morning to yesterday when it came in, each time I've been impressed and have gotten a different flavor out of it. Just vanilla for days, and again, that spiciness, that pine, there's a pine note there, there's a woodsiness, there's an earthiness to it. It just, I try to be really as honest and straightforward as I can when I review these whiskeys. And I can tell you this, there's a lot of good whiskey out there, so a lot of my videos end up being pretty favorable to these items. That being said, I literally don't think that there is a better release of whiskey that you are going to get this year. If this was Diageo, if this was any other big company, if this was Jim Beam, and they had gone to the trouble to get 3-hour-old wet Imperial Belgian stout barrels and fill them up with this and bottle it at barrel strength, are you kidding me? This would be $150, $200 a bottle easily. They put it in a wooden crate and they charge $200 for it without batting an eye. This is $59.99. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous deal for the quality, for just the sheer surprise and joy of getting something this delicious for this price. So anyway, I've gone on long enough, but it certainly deserves it. It's an incredible whiskey, and so proud that our awesome customers' names are on this bottle. You deserve it. Cheers.